If you've ever been out of breath because you hustled from one studio to get to another studio in order to start that show on time, or try to at least, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. We are back for another episode of Live Trading. Happy Tuesday. Ryan's on double duty. As we said yesterday, yes, 13 will be back, but he's on kid duty. We're making it all work. Money to be made. Let's get it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Good morning and happy Tuesday. A big, sweet, happy Tuesday morning to all those Lions fans out there who got a really huge win yesterday on Monday Night Football. Jesse, good morning. I saw in pre-market prep you asked if Raznick was at the game. Unfortunately, I couldn't answer your question while we were wrapping up the show there. As you saw, I blew the outro. LOL. But anyway, yes, Raznick was there. A little disappointed. There was actually one of the touchdowns that the Lions scored. Player jumped right into the stands, and there was Raznick and his son to receive the player. So yes, big win for the Lions and a fun night for the Raznick family. We love to see them on TV. Now, as far as the rest of this Tuesday goes, hello, good morning. It's great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here. I know we have a huge list of people, so I'm just going to say hi once to everybody here. Thank you all for joining us. I apologize for being late as I had to wrap up pre-market prep here this morning. But no matter, that is not going to stop us from looking at the market. Yes, we will have 13 joining us shortly as soon as he is back from kid duty. In the meantime, it's going to be you and I breaking down the market, and we are going to start here with the SPY. So looking at the SPY here, we had a wild close yesterday, right? We had a little bit of a dip in the afternoon that sent us to the 569 low, maybe 568 and some change. And then, boy, oh boy, we got that dip back, and then we actually took a leg higher into the close. Let me show you what I'm talking about here by looking at the 1 minute chart. You can see this little dip, little rip into the highs. Now, the good thing here is we've actually held this level into today. So really haven't broken down yet. We had some news here about Apple channel checks showing less or a lower iPhone demand. That's actually hitting Apple. But the SPY here looks to be relatively unfazed. If you want to take a look at the Qs, we can do that too. Qs still holding up here too in the face of that Apple news. So market seems to be holding here. We are a little bit, I guess we're flat from where we closed, but we're a little bit higher from where we've traded all day yesterday. Of course, the big piece of news is going to be the port strike. That did, in fact, start today. Now, we had a little bit of a discussion earlier on stocks that you can play for that port strike. One of the things that I'd love to do is I'd love to get ideas from you folks on all of the different things that we can play. In fact, I'm actually looking at CNBC now, and it looks like they are covering the port strike. They have the Longshoremen Association president out there speaking. So that is in full bore here. What type of plays can we play? Long, short, whatever it is. I want to hear about your ideas for that. Okay. Let's see. Did I miss anything here? Morning. Oh, it's just all you guys being awesome and sharing. Good morning. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the movers. I'm going to go ahead and mute my distractions here. Let's go talk about some of the movers, and then we'll probably end up having an extended ticker time to take a look at some of the stocks that you want. So maybe they'll be related to the port strike. Let's see. All right, let's flip over to the movers and try and figure out what movers we actually have here today. Oh, stop me if you've seen this one before. Duo. We have Duo coming back. Bonjour, Smoked Tuna. I'm always looking to practice a little French in the morning. So I'm always excited when you join because I get to pretend like I know French. Bonjour. Great to see you here this morning. I got to learn how to say that in French. Maybe you can help me out. Anyway, Duo here on deck for today. This actually gave us an awesome trade yesterday. It was on deck multiple times yesterday. We actually held the gains into the after-hour session and then went higher on fairly low volume. I guess maybe that's elevated for aftermarket. Today, however, we are holding higher. So we are right at the VWAP here. 350 looks to be the spot. I wouldn't be shocked if this gives us more opportunities here today for trading. So Duo looks like this one's going to be on deck. I didn't see any fresh news here. Yeah, nothing fresh. Nothing fresh as far as I can see here. So this looks like just continuation from yesterday. We definitely have kind of a relative volume setup given what happened yesterday. So we'll see here on Duo, ticker DUO. That's going to be our first mover. Next here, we have TMF. This is the levered treasury ETF. Not sure if we're really going to trade this one a whole lot. Oh, you know what? We've got to get rid of all of this stuff. Sorry about that. There we go. Let's get some of our other movers back here. Okay. SGMT is going to be the next mover that we're going to talk about here. This is Sigamet. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Sigamet Biosciences. You see, the stock was about 280 yesterday, just under $3. Took a big impulse move up to about 350, came back on the corrective move, and then took two more impulse moves to the high. Actually, looks like this is going to test 4 here today. Got the VWAP at 363. We'll see what's going on here. 27 million shares in the float. On average, stock trades just under 500,000 shares today. We're already trading close to 7 million. So it looks like this is rolling here. We do have some news. All right. Let's see. FDA granted breakthrough therapy designation to Sigamet Biosciences Definistat. Did I pronounce that? Denefistat, for non-cirrhotic metabolic dysfunction associated with staphylococcus with moderate to advanced liver fibrosis. Can't believe I made it through saying all of those words, probably butchered a majority of them, but we got a PR here, FDA granting breakthrough therapy designation. Stock is moving higher here on that, up 40%. I do think this one could be in play here today. Let's take a look at the financials. Stock does have cash on its balance sheet as of the last report, and it only burns about $5.5 million of cash. Got almost 96 million in cash on the balance sheet. We got plenty of runway here on SGMT. Don't think that we necessarily need an offering right off the bat here. So this one looks pretty good. Let's add this to the list. So far, SGMT and Duo, your small cap movers here. As far as SGMT, I really want to see this kind of pull back and then give us an entry. That seems to have provided the best trading opportunity so far. Let's not chase up here. Let's wait for this to really kind of come back in. Okay. Next here, boy, movers, you really didn't need to just kind of crap the bed right before I went there. Here we go. BCTX. This is another one that we have been familiar with. We've seen this one trade already. This is Briacell Therapeutics. Volume here looks good. We went from penny stock territory yesterday to over $1 territory here today. Let's see if we had any fresh news on this. We do. Briacell reports 100% resolution of brain metastasis in breast cancer patient with the eye bulging tumor. All of that sounds terrible. The fact that they have a breakthrough here in breast cancer treatment sounds great. Obviously, that's what's driving the stock here. As far as share structure on this one, 28.7 million. So again, not really in that low float category that we've kind of been trading recently. This one's still a little bit higher here. On average, trades about 3.8 million shares. Today, we're just shy of 13 million. The market has been open, so giddy up on this one. Let's take a look at some of the financials on this one. Boy, not a whole lot of cash on the balance sheet here for Briacell. Let's take a look at the cash flow statement. Yikes, burning 5 million a quarter. This thing needs money. Look for this to be the next thing that the stock really kind of needs to do. All right. The nerdy man. Good morning. Good morning, Jake mate. I will take that. I view being called a nerd as a compliment, so I will go ahead and take that. I did think that you were referring to my awesome partner who is read up on pretty much everything. Looks like he's ready to go. Give me a thumbs up so I don't embarrass you. Bam! We welcome 13 to the show. 13, how you doing this morning?
Doing all right. How's everybody this morning?
We're doing great, dude. I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I have been mainlining coffee since I got up. We had an awesome pre-market prep. We had a flawless move over to live trading. Dude, things are going really good right now.
I can hear it.
Okay.
It sounds like it is in your voice.
Okay, then I'll just keep going. You've got nothing. I'll just keep going here. First movers that we've covered 13, SGMT, DUO, and BCTX. I don't know if you did any prep work on any of these. If you want to cover any of them or mention on any of them, you're welcome to do so. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and cover Tour just to kind of give you some time to get your thoughts together here. Tour going to be the next stock that is on the movers list here. This is, again, one that our group should be familiar with. We've traded this one off one of the opening gaps. We've also traded this off the relative volume scanner. So that's looking pretty good. Saw a nice little pop up here. This went from penny stock territory just under $1 yesterday. Looks like we stopped just shy of 180 here. Let's see. I don't have any new news on this. Anticipating revenue beat amid profitability and a ratings upgrade. Okay, so we do have something here. But I'm not. Yeah, let me read into this a little bit. This is a partner link, so this is not necessarily fresh news. This was an article that was written this morning based on stuff that had happened yesterday. So not sure if that's what's driving it here. Stock is up 8%. I'd actually like to see this cross the VWAP on volume. That would be ideal.
Looks pretty good. It's been
Looks all right.
Yeah, it's makes money, net income, and just had a nice, what was this, the second quarter back in August, the HOVR. So there's some things it's got going for it. Looks like it's just another one of these recompliance plays, because I can see back here in August, they were facing a delisting threat if they couldn't get back above $1. So it's still on the same theme with getting that recompliance to stay listed.
Yeah. Now, I don't see any recent splits for this, but I think you're right on that. I do need to address a couple of things. So please forgive me here, 13. Then I'll turn it back into you. Tom is asking, how many cups of coffee in are you? 2, but I actually I need to go collect my 3rd, which I started during the switchover. I'm going to go do that here in a sec when I turn this over to 13. But I'm really offended. I'm offended because, first of all, this is Crow. Crow, I thought you knew me better than this. I'm definitely not a light roast guy. The darker, the better, man. The darker, the better. I like to taste my coffee. I like it to have a lot of flavor. Sometimes that light roast stuff just doesn't really have that. 13, look, I'm going to go grab my cup of coffee here real quick.
All right.
You're welcome to cover any of the previous movers if you're ready. The next one on the list here is DJT. I'm not trying to toss you a grenade here, but if you want to cover this, you can. The other thing is that the chat has been really, really kind of into the port strike. So I know that you're kind of connected to that. You've done an excellent job following that. If you have anything here on the port strike, now might be a good time. I'll be back in about 20 seconds.
Sure. So as far as what I understand about the port strike, I have family that work in the San Pedro, Los Angeles harbor. So I do get a lot of information about what's happening with the ports, but that's the West Coast. This is the East Coast and Gulf ports that are actually going to be that are closing and striking. And what that's going to mean is, of course, I'm sure some of you are aware, that's going to mean we're going to have delays in exports for vehicles, some agriculture products, some, I believe, some other materials, but it's essentially the things that are coming in through the Gulf and through the East Coast ports. That's where it's going to be affected. Now, I do expect rail to be utilized as a result of this. So, a lot of shipments that are meant for the East Coast are going to get diverted or sent a different route. Likely, they're going to go to the West Coast ports. We're going to see some congestion over on that side. And when they do go through those containers and offload them, things that are meant for the East Coast or the Gulf are going to be bound via rail. Don't know what else I can add to that, but there's also the Suez Canal. I think that's been doing better. I'm sorry, not the Suez, the Panama Canal. That's been doing better with more rainfall, but there's still a bit of a bottleneck in that area too. And there's a lot of agriculture that goes through that as well. And as far as I saw that Zim was getting mentioned, yep. I don't necessarily think, that's going to be, affected to some degree. and it's down pretty handily today. So we are looking for a pullback in this anyway. So this is actually good. And 2380 is where I'd like to see it get support at, which is that breakout level. So I don't necessarily think that this is over for ZIM, and here's why. This port strike is going to cause a rise in shipping rates, and ZIM loves high shipping rates. They do contract negotiations in Q1 and Q2 every year and lock in those rates for all their for all the courier businesses they're gonna do. So if we end up with high shipping rates, which I'm sure we're going to end up getting, that's going to end up being a tailwind for ZIM. So in the short term, yes, maybe it's going to be bearish. Longer term, 6 months out, I think it's going to be much better for them.
Okay. Really good stuff here on ZIM. Did you want me to cover any more of the movers here?
I think I saw that Duo was going, but we've been on that already. We already know what that company is.
Yeah, I broke them down already. The only other ones that are on here, I suppose, that are worth mentioning is going to be NEO. NEO shares trading higher after the company reported year-over-year increase in September and Q3 delivery results. This might move depending on what Tesla's deliveries do. Remember, Dennis confirmed that that's coming tomorrow. The Tesla deliveries, not today. CNBC was wrong. Benzinga Pro was right. Just going to take another victory lap here real quick. And then also XPEV was also moving here this morning. So this is what's kind of going on with some of these names, but I don't really think there's anything else we need to cover. I think we're probably better off going back over to the main chart here and taking a look at what the chat wants to take a look at here. First one was one of the movers from yesterday. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. That's going to be MCore. MCore is the name of the company. The ticker is EMKR. So there you go. Edward, you wanted to take a look at this. Really, there's nothing new here today. Volume's really kind of unimpressive. The only thing that's notable here is this is just trading sideways. I do expect this to kind of break out of this range. Bottom side of that range, I've got it 202, maybe call it $2 even. Top side of that range looks like a double top here at 235, 236. We'll see. To me, this is a no trade until it takes one of those sides out. That's what I would say on EMKR. Okay, I'm 13. Unless you have a stock that you want to take a look at, I'm basically just going to keep running through names that the chat is giving us. Next one here is going to be SQ. Yeah, go ahead.
With MCore, we do understand that there is basically a ceiling to this, right? 380.
Right. This is okay. Sorry. No, I left that off. This is the news yesterday was the buyout for 380, right? That's what you're referring to here. Okay, yes, so the non-binding proposal from Mobix, the company that can't afford it, the upside there or the level there was 380. You're right, 13. That this is going to be your upside level here. I don't even know if we get there, to be quite honest with you.
We almost got there on that when that news dropped, but yes, I don't know that we're going to actually get right back to 380. But that is going to be a bit of a ceiling, well, pretty much a ceiling for you in this stock, because unless they get other offers, this is about where it's expected to go for. So that's what I'd be looking for. I mean, if it's under here and we think it's going up, at least we know where to, what area we can start thinking about taking profits. Somewhere between 360 and 375, something like that.
Okay, that sounds good. I have to mention these real quick. Ethiopian coffee, awesome. Vietnamese coffee, awesome. Turkish coffee is awesome. Look, if it's coffee and it's dark and it's potent, it's good. That's really the equation. It's fairly simple. Okay, Shaka, let's really quickly take a look at SQNS. I'll be honest, didn't really see anything going here. I know this is up a little bit, about $1.19. What's going on with this, Shaka? Why are you watching this? You're not just talking your book, right? You actually have a reason why we're watching this. See if I can get the news feed to load here. We do have some fresh news here this morning. It looks like Tuesday, October 1st. Sequence reaffirms commitment to massive Internet of Things market. Okay, well, that's good. Said there was Qualcomm news. Looks like this happened yesterday. Qualcomm acquires Sequence 4G Internet of Things tech. So to me, the PR here this morning about reaffirming its commitment to something that Qualcomm just acquired, yeah, that seems like a no-brainer to me. That it is up here in the pre-market, so maybe we get a little bit of a move here. Looking at the chart, we're in a supply zone, Shaka. Now it really kind of comes together. We do look like we're kind of in a supply zone here. Let's see if we can break the top off here. Maybe 125, one of those spots. We'll see what this looks like when we can actually take a look at the level 2. 13, I know you didn't prepare for this one, but if anything's jumping off at the chart or jumping off the chart at you, geez, be sure to let me know. Oh, look at this. Maybe we get a close above the 200-day. What do you guys think?
I was kind of looking into ADXN as Sidney Osborne was asking about. He's just asking me if he thinks this is going to move, and to me, the thing that's going to cause this to move would have to be some kind of news. I mean, the float is low, so this can get pushed around. So there's no doubt that once this does get the eyes on it, it's going to really start to get going. But I don't see a catalyst here at the moment. It doesn't look like they are in any danger of delisting or falling out of compliance. I see that they've got an H.C. Wainwright and Company buy rating with a $30 price target. Not seeing any short interest of note. Not seeing any reverse splits this year.
Any cash though.
Right. Okay. So there you go. So they might need to do that. So I'd probably just wait this one out. I don't know what's in the pipeline for this one or anything like that. So if you have information on that, that's going to give you the edge. But I don't know what is going to make this company break out. It's got some of those boxes checked, but I think it needs a catalyst.
Okay. All right. Really good stuff there. I hear. Where did that prisoners make good coffee, I hear. Yeah, I'll just go with that. I don't think that I really need to test that, to be quite honest with you. I'll just kind of leave that one alone right there. MGRX what's that?
Hot potato.
Hot potato. Yeah, I mean that's a little wild. So okay, MGRX. I know we don't normally cover penny stocks here. The chat gives 0 F's about that little rule. They're going to keep suggesting them. You can actually see this one is going. This penny stock is going here. We do have this volume expansion in the pre-market. I beg your pardon. The other thing that I really like about this volume expansion is we took out that impulse move and then we back tested that same level. So this is actually set up to have a fairly decent regular session. I'll probably stay away from it. This would really need to be the best possible trade. Newsprint here driving this. Oh my God. Mango Cuticles is the name of the company. Did I pronounce that right? Mango Cuticles shares are trading higher after the company announced its oral semaglutide branded as Slim, now available on their website.
That's a big deal.
It is the first thing that I'll say here about any of these. When we start talking about semaglutides here, this one is talking about it being oral. The first thing to note is its potency and efficacy, because one of the things that we found is that pill form, oral form semaglutides do not perform as much as their injection counterparts. I don't have the stats on that, but that would be something to follow here. MGRX.
Yeah, and I wonder what flavor that is. I don't know if the name of the company is going to give it away.
I mean, look, if all of the pills, I dislike taking medication, but if I was forced to take pills, why not have them taste like mangoes? I mean, I feel like you could do so much worse than that. So much worse than that.
I love mangoes.
Yeah, me too. Mangoes are delicious. Okay, that is MGRX. CAPR was getting mentioned here by Edward. 13, I'm pretty sure that you broke this one down yesterday when this was moving. Can't remember. Don't want to speak for you. This is a significant gap up here. Boy, we have news on this? I don't see any news on here. Big time gap, it looks like. What am I missing? Price candles? I must be.
I think this was like on a, I mean, maybe not yesterday, but maybe last week, phase 3. We talked a lot about this a lot last week. If you look on Tuesday, September 17th, there was actually Benzinga exclusives about this. I don't know. I don't remember a whole lot about what was said because at the time I was on this, but today's a new day.
Yeah. And I figured out what's going on here, folks. It looks like I'm actually missing the Monday price information, which is why you're getting this really, really weird gap. Don't really think we need that. I guess really the only thing to note from yesterday's session here, 13, is going to be that high that it put in. I've got that at 1584.
The short interest is what I remember talking about it yesterday. We were talking about how it's 25% shorted. the float, and it's got 45.95 days to cover.
Robert is asking if it's mango or mango. Pretty sure it's mango, isn't it? Have I been saying it wrong for 40 years?
I'd like to think it's mango, being that it's an oral drug. But if it's mango,
I think he's
mango
yeah.
lose weight. I don't know.
Huh.
Anyway,
Robert, good
we're
question.
about to open.
Yeah, good question.
10
I
seconds.
don't have an answer for you, but I might have just embarrassed myself. So we've got that going for us here today.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I have so much coffee, it doesn't even matter, by the way. Okay, here we go, folks.
All right. So first things first. What was the big one we wanted to pay attention to out of the gate?
SGMT.
Okay.
To me, actually looks like this might be going here. We'll see.
393 is the pre-market high we're trying to get over here.
SGMT.
What is SPY doing out of the gate? Are we up or down? Looks like we're slightly down.
Oh,
here we go. SGMT. Now it's moving. Broke out.
So Tom's asking, did you send out a search party for Miss Anne Marie? I actually confirmed that she was okay. So the search party is not necessary. I did ask her if she's going to be joining us today. And with the Tesla deliveries tomorrow, maybe we can add that to the list. As we're talking here, SGMT trying to go higher. Look like it's trying to take out that pre-market high. What do we got here?
It did take out that pre-market high. Now it's coming back in this a little bit. Still above VWAP though.
Let's see if this comes into VWAP and then bounces. If it breaks that, I tell you what, just kind of looking at the action here, this looks like it wants higher. Here we go. Yeah. Now let's see what happens at 4. 13. I don't know what your broker says here. I do see a little bit of size there at 4. Yeah. Nothing crazy. Looks like we backed off that spot a little bit.
Yeah, they brought in a big order at 393. That's taking it down. Now we're about to go underneath VWAP. We lose 373, I think. Yeah. Okay,
let's see if they're going to hit this right here.
And in the meantime, Duo lower, Tor up above VWAP now. EMKR, that opened high and then sank immediately. And SQNS, that's popped up to 124, but very slow moving, very low volume in this one.
Okay, they're trying to support SGMT here. They keep refreshing a bid. So if this thing's going to go, it's going to probably do it right here. I think if we flush again, you actually might have to wait this out. See a big red candle right out of the open here. This is the spot to watch, folks.
Yeah, first stop we can look at for
they held it support. So far. Boy, they held it. Sorry.
No worries. Let's talk 350, somewhere between 355 and 360. There could be some support if this goes lower than VWAP. Let's see what happens next. And then we also got MGRX flying.
I can bring that up. No trade here, yes, in SGMT. It looked like maybe you might get a bounce there, but I don't know. Here is MGRX.
It's got a nice move out of the gate here. That'd be cool if it got to $1 today. And we got Palantir spikes. We got
Smoke Tuna saying on that SGMT trade, maybe 350. Looks like it did end up breaking that VWAP to go to 360. So 350 might be your spot there. Thank you, Tuna.
Awesome.
Just love it. Love it. MGRX is the penny stock. You guys trading this one? I'll probably stay away from this. What do you guys think? Duo also, look at this. Duo trading back up. Let's see if 360 gets taken here.
They got to break through a whole bunch of sell orders, but they're working on it. And then after that, 370 is the next big level. So I couldn't break through that big wall that it had there up near 360. Damn, this thing must be super thin for it to move so much. Forgot how the float is on this. Let's take a look here.
On Duo?
Yeah.
I don't have a float reading on this. Didn't we get this? I feel like we talked about this yesterday. I can't remember what it was here. Duo, kind of a nasty reversal right there. Look at this pull.
Oh yeah, that was a big time pull.
Yeah, sure was. Right, SPY also moving down here. Good call there, DS. Glad someone's watching that. Let me actually put this up here real quick because we were talking about some of these SPY levels. SPY pulling off the open here pretty good.
Wow, I don't even have a float reading for shares outstanding, but not float.
SGMT looks like the Smoke Tuna might have done it again. I know we didn't print 350 there, but boy, we broke
Close
VWAP,
enough.
went to that 360 spot and bounced there. I'd trim that. Oh, look, probably too late. Probably too late. Looks like, oh my God, what a nasty move here. And who's trading this? Are you guys?
Waiting.
In this?
I'm just waiting. Oh, China knife. So that means Yang must be doing pretty well. That was a really good one yesterday. It looks like it's in the process of recovering. It must have had a lower open. Come on, chart. Let's go. SQQQ really starting to shoot up there. Yeah, Yang not really moving up here. Still waiting for this gap to get filled in Yang. There's two gaps on the way back up for Yang. First one starts at 445 and fills.
Guys, sorry. This SGMT looks a little weak. I'm going to go to Yang here, 13. What are we doing?
This is the China Bear ETF. So if all the China names are starting to go down, this is the one I'm watching for to go up. Look at SQQ. That's been just having a great day so far.
Duo halted here.
Nice. Oh, that's the downside. Never mind. I didn't mean to say that. All right. So looks like we're getting that support. An SGMT that Smoke Tuna was talking about got down to 355. Looks like.
All right, SGMT. So it's not actually on my scanner, but let's see if we're actually being given a bounce spot here.
Yeah, it's got some bids providing some support here down at the 364. Okay. Let's see if that can lift it back up over 375.
Yeah, and you know what? Unlike yesterday, I've got this VWAP here at 372, and it matches. Here we go. SGMT, we are bouncing here. Let's see, upside targets on this. I think the first one that we really want to take out here is going to be this 386 candle. That's, of course, going to be after we take that VWAP out there at 372, 373. Looks like we're holding right there. Let's see if we can get above 380 here.
Looks like oh gosh, we're going to really start to move up here, I think, in just a second, or it's going to be a huge rug pull. But were you talking about the big bid that they brought in there? Yeah, and they just took that right out, and they're going to probably take out 370. But let's wait and see what happens. I think there's going to be try to be a push up to 4. Just have to wait and see if we get the volume, because that's going to be the name of the game right now. Look at all these sell orders between here and $4. There's going to have to be a lot of volume in order to chew through that, and we're starting to get it.
Yeah, and those sell orders 13, I see them at, you can correct me if you see anything different. I've got them at 383, 384, 385 on the way up to that 390 spot that you were talking about.
Just need that volume to come on in.
I see a big bid there at 368. They've hit it a few times. We'll see if they've got the strength to take that out. I could see this bouncing, honestly. And now that we've come in and touched that tuna level, and see it for sure. See if we break this 368 here. There it goes. Oh my God. Not only did they break it, they filled it up with more stock for sale. That means it's going to be tough on the way back. They back tested it, couldn't do it. Let's see here. 356 is going to be your intraday low here, SGMT. Tell you what, this bounce has been very, very short-lived, has not worked well yet.
And then you say that, and then it starts to rise.
I was just going to say, all I need to do is start talking about it, and it'll start doing the opposite.
Not quite there yet, but that was funny.
On my chart. Look, he does a pretty good job of giving those levels. I just mark it with a horizontal line. Maybe add like a little fish graphic to it.
Yeah, like a fish just kind of like shoots up out of the water and comes right back in. Oh, there's my signal. Watch for a flush. Okay, well, that's going to come take it down to maybe 318, 315, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's that 356 level looking like that's going to get retested here on the downside, SGMT.
Tour having a much better day. That got above VWAP and made a new, beat the pre-market high. We're now at 176 is the current intraday high.
Here you go on Tour. That giving you a little bit more upside juice there.
Oh, yes. Hollow. That was something that was moving yesterday.
Lynn and Randy have to be excited. Hollow, YOLO, JOLO, Lynn and Randy.
Yeah, this was something we're already out of. We already played that whole game. I don't know what we're getting with this. Maybe it goes, higher. I don't know. Try it. If you're going to trade it, go ahead and trade it. But just be careful with this one. This one's a real tricky name. This SQQQ, that's great.
Smoke Tuna mentioning, take a look at what happened to XHG yesterday. Yeah,
Oh,
again, I think I'm missing price candles here, which makes this look more dramatic. But what Tuna's saying is absolutely right to begin with.
That's great, because I was just noticing XHG in my my list here. It's up 62%, and I was like, oh, what's this about?
And I have nothing but penny stocks on my list here. CAPR from yesterday looks like it's trying to take out the pre-market high here, CAPR.
Here we go with SGMT. That's going much lower.
Yeah, that's the flush Tuna was waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
Tuna, you have a level here on this flush on SGMT. CAPR, I thought this was going to break. That's why I left this one on screen. Thought it was going to break literally right here.
Oh, the pre-market high? Just let it hold VWAP, and it might just need a bit, or it'll do it right here.
I was just going to say it right here, dude. And SPY is still pulling. We can go back to that here. SPY is still pulling here, folks.
Well, does this dip get bought as well?
It did yesterday, right?
Well, yeah. And so let's see what happens when it gets down to that previous all-time high of 568.69. That's where we were getting support around that area that we were getting support around yesterday. The low was actually about 68.15, something like that. But this is quite a pull in the morning. No doubt that the turmoil in the Middle East and the port strikes are contributing to this. Let's see how far this goes down.
Okay. Thinking about it, saying that CAPR is not CRAP. Well said, thinking about it. Given the action here today, we can see that as clear as day. CAPR. It looks like we did take out that pre-market high. Higher we go. 17 tests coming on deck next.
It seems like a pretty good level. Lion Atlas looking to enter at 330. That's the candle from 705 yesterday. That's the high. So I think that would be a pretty good spot to look for an entry. If we don't get support there, then I think the 65 EMA on the 5-minute would do the job. So that's down at 318.
I'll tell you what, you guys are brave. I love hearing it. This is straight down. Now, here's your 200 EMA, by the way, 333. We'll see if that stops it here. This is just a straight down move. Like this is you guys buying it down here. You guys are really got some stones. Let's put it that way.
Buy the weakness.
That has been
sorry.
That has been
INDO running as well, says Jay Wild. Let's take a look here. We were trading this one a while back too.
INDO. I see it on the scanner. Oh, look at that volume expansion. Let's go.
And it's still going up. All right, so here's that first stop for SGMT down at the 330.
Looks like 328 was the low it printed there. INDO still popping here. Sorry, I can't take my eyes off this. We actually are at a resistance area right here, INDO, and a supply area back from the beginning of September.
Just look at something here. Interestingly enough, both Google and Meta are the two Mag 7s that are still up. Communications must be doing well.
Okay.
INDO almost at 3. That was just a great move.
What a rip. What a rip.
Same with CAPR. That was at 17.19 now. Starting to get a bit of a turnaround here with SGMT. I think 330 was a good call there so far. Lion Atlas, let's see how much more we get out of this.
Whew.
Yeah, saw that too, Webcoin. Yep.
So interestingly, so this SGMT, I had the 1 minute chart where that 200 EMA was giving me 333. I have $3 on that same EMA on the 5 minute, and that 100 EMA I've got at 321. So that 320 to 330 area definitely seems to be a spot here. So far it's bouncing, but honestly, I would have liked to have seen more on this bounce. I don't know about you guys. Who's trading this one?
I got a little bit down at that
Okay.
area. So just waiting to see if we get a turnaround here. Not
Tesla pulling back a little.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, by the way, whoever was at Tom, I think you were asking about coffee. I am now officially on third cup. It is a 3-cup morning.
MGRX pulling pretty big.
And that's the penny stock, right? MGRX. Let me put that back up here.
Yeah, it looks like lots of things are starting to pull back here a little bit.
Yeah, market is still pulling here too. 570 on the SPY.
Children's Place on watch, says the Crow.
Again? I mean, I'm not
Why
going to
not?
doubt him.
Why not?
I'm not going to doubt him, but I mean, I feel like Children's Place, that's been like every day.
A little bit.
So MGRX, so this is bouncing back at the VWAP here. I'm just going to roll through some of these.
Okay, so
Geo.
looking like we're starting to get some recovery here with SGMT.
Let me bring that up. Okay.
Looks like it's beelining for VWAP here. I have that at 366. Let's see if we get that.
Smoke Tuna, you did call this. This was really, really well done. So we've bounced from 330. It was actually technically 328, but that's the same thing. We've bounced up here to 342. What type of area do you have, or what level do you have here on the upside? You thinking 350? You think maybe a move through 350? I see VWAP at 365. What are you thinking here? Levels 13, you too.
For upside?
Yeah, just on this bounce. Like what do we consider a successful bounce here? If you're entering at that low, where are we looking to trim and book gains?
Oh, for at the very least VWAP.
Okay.
When we break down through VWAP and we find support and start to turn around, the best case scenario every time for me is to come back and test VWAP.
Got it. I love that. I love that because, first of all, I've got VWAP here at 365. That actually would make for a great trade here. We often see this, by the way, when stocks get extended from the VWAP. CAPR continuing to rip. Look at this. More new highs here on CAPR. Should have been trading that one. Damn.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You got to be careful with this one because look at the spread on this. You're getting between
okay, let me pull it up in my broker.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like 5 to 20 cent spreads on this. So you got to be careful with this one. Definitely no market orders. Just do limits. Make sure you get your fills and your where you want them to be. Because if you try to market this, or maybe even try to stop yourself out of this, you might remember stops are essentially market orders. You might not get that level that you're looking for with how spready this is if you're trying to stop yourself out. So be careful with this one with how spready it is.
Okay. SGMT Smoke Tuna saying 358 is your first rest. I don't know if you meant test or if that's where the stock's going to rest first on the way back up. I'm seeing more stocks, more penny stocks entering the scanner now. I'm less surprised that Hollow is doing what it's doing, given the fact that I'm seeing a whole bunch of other penny stocks appear here today.
Yeah, it looks like there's just a lot more appetite for risk given the rate cut environment, especially with all the that talk yesterday from some of those Fed members and Powell. Goolsby saying that he sees a lot of rate cuts ahead.
Weren't they saying at least 50 bips by the end of the year?
We're already there.
No, at 50 more. Excuse me.
Gotcha,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was not clear. 50 more. Pretty sure that's what. So I'd have to look here yesterday.
I think so because I don't see them not cutting rates at any of the remaining meetings this year. So at the very least, it's going to be 25 and 25. It could be more than that. It could be as much as 150 by the end of the year. Not after this, but like including
here. This is the report that I was referring to. Fed Chair Powell says if economy evolves as expected, that would mean 2 more rate cuts this year for a total of 50 bips.
Yeah.
So there you go.
If they go 25, but that we'll see what the size is when we get there. We might have one of those Octobers, that we keep hearing about. SGMT still working on trying to get back up there. I saw that Smoke Tuna is not. It's starting to look a little weak. I think is kind of what he was getting at here.
Yeah. And he was looking at the same thing you were, 13. He was really saying that needs to get back to that VWAP. Otherwise, we're going to down test some more levels here. So we'll see what we end up getting here. INDO also being, look at this, right back on to the highs. INDO.
And, SGMT, that, one of the other levels to the downside that I already mentioned is that 65 EMA at 318. So if we go down there, that's going to be fine as well. I also have a level at 295. What's up?
You're good. I just wanted to read this from Jay. Jay saying, is this a comment from Jensen, the NVIDIA CEO? NVIDIA likes nuclear for AI power. 3 names mentioned. Did he mention these names? Did Jensen mention these names? Names mentioned here, SMR, CEG, LEU. All 3 names, not strangers to this show. Jay, let me know, was this Jensen suggesting these 3 names here today?
Let's see if that's in the news.
Oh, my goodness.
What's up?
We have a blast from the past. Jess is back. Can you remind me again how close to an option expiration you should take your profits before they disappear?
Holy
Jess,
cow.
it depends. Yeah, it depends on the actual options trade that you have, doesn't it?
Caper is just absolutely rocketing right now.
And we'll get back to this. Good to see you again. Let's take a look here at CAPR. Oh, my goodness.
I don't want to make any predictions.
Did you actually just cut out there, but it could have been my internet.
No, I don't want to make any predictions with CAPR. This thing is just, well, here we go. We're starting to get a pull in it now, but I don't want to make any predictions with this one. If I say, oh yeah, it's about to turn around, watch it just rip higher. And let's see.
VIX is ripping here. Jay's all over that one.
Awesome.
VIX at the highs here, 1955. I think we probably see 20 prints. ES still at the lows. SPY pounding lows. Looking across the board here, Qs pounding the lows. We actually haven't taken a look at that. Tech on its way down. This can't bode well for Apple, which is taking the next leg down after that news this morning. Oh, boy. So who's in SQQQ? That's what I got to know, because that seems to be a trade here today. SQQQ.
I'm looking at the NVIDIA news to see what if Huang actually specifically mentioned those stocks, and he didn't.
No, Jay handled this. I'm sorry. Okay. I was trying to get to this. Jay had mentioned that it's in the news release. Huang did not mention it himself. Appreciate you.
Gotcha.
Appreciate both of you, actually, for that.
Yeah, but that was a great point out. And it comes on the heels of Microsoft mentioning, reopening 3 Mile Island to handle all their data center needs. I think Jay's really onto it. I mean, nuclear is going to be the way forward with a lot of the energy needs that we have coming up here.
And to be fair, Jay's been on that right here. Travis just sold my UVIX. Cade Father in SQQQ up 3.3% right now. Good stuff, folks. You guys, your timing has been better than mine. That's what I love to see here. Love to see. Whoever got Indo and gin and juice, that's the next thing that I was thinking there. Anyway, INDO here. This is one of those small oils. This did set that new high. Wiss, really good stuff there. Cash register ring. Wiss, you've actually just been a monster recently. Chewbacca approves of your monsterness. SGMT, by the way, on that bounce looks like it stopped just shy of 350. I see some size there at 350. This actually not breaking down. This might not be done, especially if it can take 350. Maybe we do visit that VWAP 13 cents higher.
I'm watching the MACD. When we start to get that curl and the histogram starts to show a lot fewer red bars, then that's a little bit more of a indication we might be reversing back to the upside. But it's just an indicator. Let's see what we get here.
The smoke tuna call is in. This will go lower again.
It could be bear flagging too. So yeah. that's entirely possible as well. And the volume is also waning. But let's see what happens. I still think that 65 EMA is entirely possible.
Really good stuff here, group.
INDO.
Really good stuff. Can we get some likes smashed up for our awesome group here? Let's get some likes smashed up.
Duo may have found a bottom here at 240.
No way.
Dropped all the way down there. It's actually here's what I was talking about. How once we get a bounce, it comes back up to VWAP. Almost came right back up to VWAP. VWAP is I have at 287, and it got as high as 282. So just 5 cents off. Let's see if it continues to rebound. If it does, there's a small gap to fill. It's probably like just 7 cents, I think.
Looking around here at some other stuff. VIX still holding here 19.5, just shy of 1950. Apple again still on its second leg down. Took that first leg down. We got that news on iPhone shipments in the pre-market. Second leg down right now. Tesla, oh my goodness, what a move down here on Tesla. This probably should have been the move. Looks like we got 7 points of down move here on Tesla. For anyone that traded this one, let me know. You absolutely deserve a register ring there. Where's our short friends today? This is the day where their trades are actually working out.
TTEC, any thoughts? Ask Edward LA. To me, this one on the 5-minute chart looks like it's trying to recapture VWAP. It fell down beneath it about 15 minutes ago. Been trying to recapture it. Been getting suppressed. We get the volume to help push this thing back up through VWAP. I think you're going to at least try to get a test of the 628 intraday high. So just watch for volume expansion. That's what it's going to need to get back above VWAP and get back up to that intraday high.
Okay, really good stuff there. T-Tech, wasn't this from yesterday? I think we had a news. Yeah, I think this was news from. Yeah, it was. This was the CEO wanting to take this private yesterday. Looks like Guggenheim upgraded it to neutral today. So that's what's going on there with T-Tech.
We might be getting ready for another up move in CAPR. We just had a high print of 1813, and it came back down to VWAP, getting some support from VWAP. Let's see if it can turn around from here. I don't want to say that it is because the MACD is looking like it's starting to roll over, but let's see what it does here down at VWAP.
Wiss is asking if I watched that Braves Mets game. Wiss, no, dude, I didn't. I knew it was going on. I had stuff to do in the afternoon. I was literally on happy hour, and my buddy in London, who was just blowing me up, was like, "This game's crazy. This game's crazy." And I'm like, "I can't watch it. I'm doing stuff." Ended up missing that, man. Glad you were able to enjoy it, though.
Yeah, I was watching that Lions game yesterday.
Oh, dude, that was sweet.
That
I
third
was
quarter,
5 yards short from cashing my parlay. I wanted to show up to pre-market prep and just because I was filling in for Aaron, and I wanted to show up and be like, I hit my parlay. I'm filling in for Aaron. We got Joel and Dennis here. 5 yards short. I'm around St. Brown, man. All right. It is what it is.
That third quarter in the game for the Lions was just phenomenal. Especially that I can't even remember the running back's name, but do you remember the play that I'm talking about where he just ran into the defender and just knocked the defender down and kept going?
That's Gibbs, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Gibbs.
Yeah,
You're right.
Gibbs.
God, that was such a great running back play. One of my favorites.
UNFI, this one wasn't on my radar here. Trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results.
You know this company, Ryan. This is an Andy special.
Yeah, but I did recognize that.
This is like an Andy special from a long time ago, from years ago.
How many years ago? Was this when we were talking about Biox and Bioceres, and there was another stock?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking. Yeah, I know what the other one is. I'm NAII, right?
Yeah.
That was the other one that we were talking. Oh man, that's.
Yep.
We got multiple blasts from the past going on right now.
An old ex-girlfriend. Look at SGMT. Look at these wicks that we're getting here. This is how you know we're going to start to turn around. Put these kind of wicks in, these upper shadows. This is indicative of that, we are likely to go lower here. I think a 65 EMA test is coming if we don't get volume expansion here soon.
Okay. That's actually a pretty good call. That's a pretty good call. Okay, couple of things here real quick. Jay Wild is saying, Ryan Mullen, you going all in. Look, if I went all in on Mullen, I would expect you guys to purchase plane tickets, come to me and slap some sense into me. I know Jay Rice would do that. Jay Rice would probably Nancy Kerrigan my knee with one of his golf clubs if I went all in on Mullen. I'm too smart for that. Too smart for that. I'll tell you that right now. Right. Can you check out KOS when you get a second? Absolutely. We got another mover on our hand. This is Cosmos Energy. Okay, so interesting. So this one is moving here, moving on low volume, right back to a supply zone 13. This is not one that I follow.
Getting a mention of PLTR. I don't know about this one either. Also, Jolt's jobs in 1 minute.
Okay, so we're going to get that ready here. This Cosmos Energy, this is interesting. Independent oil and gas exploration and production company focused on frontier and emerging areas along the Atlantic margin.
That could be a good, play if Trump wins.
I was going to say, this to me seems like a driller. This to me seems like this would go if Trump wins.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Do we have new news here recently? No.
That would
the
be
last news
thought.
we had here was from from September. They got plenty of cash. Wow. And they're cash flow positive. Man, this is, oh, look at the float. 355 million in the float. This thing is going to trade thick, but actually looks pretty good here. Maybe add this to your driller list if we get that. Absolutely. This is an interesting one. I'm actually going to add this to my watch list.
Jolt's out. Higher than expected, so there's more openings.
Here, let me see if I can get you those prints here. Jolt's job openings for August, 8.04 million versus the 7.64 million estimate. The prior read was 7.67 million, revised to 7.7. ISM manufacturing for September, 43.9 versus the 47 estimate. That number is a little bit hot. SPY bouncing here a little bit. Prior read was 46.
Yeah, market not liking that. It seems like it's sinking lower.
Is my stuff delayed here? SPY looks like it bounced off the low. Am I just out of sync here with the time? Let's see.
I mean, it's wouldn't you know it? Right down to that 568.69 previous all-time high level, and we bounced. So that's probably the bounce you're seeing. But on a 5-minute chart, there's only one green candle. But interestingly enough, we are getting that support from that level. So let's see what happens here. If we go lower, then the next level I'd be looking for support is at 566.58. That's a previous all-time high. Oh, here we go with TTEC. That finally got above VWAP, and it looks like this is trying to get going here. So if we get a little bit more volume expansion, we might be able to take out that 628. But we're starting to look good here. I'm
going to go back to the main. This is an interesting one. Lion Atlas, by the way, is saying this is a small oil company, but it's well run. So that might be one to hold on to there. Okay, let's take a look here. I'm going to bring up the SPY. What was the stock that you just got? My goldfish memory. Coffee is really sapping it.
TTEC.
TTEC. Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah. So this is what we were getting asked about. This one. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the gentleman who asked, but this is what we were looking for in this one. We just need to see a little bit more of this volume expand, and then we can take out that 628. But so far, getting above VWAP was a big step. That's good to see.
See if we cross above. I've got this high here. 615 looks to be the next spot here. 615. How did SGMT finish, by the way?
It's not done. It's hanging in there.
Okay, so it did reverse. So interesting. This reversed and came back in. Tuna kind of said that. We'll see if it breaks down from here.
It looks like
Ryan Mullen is halted to the upside. Jay, what? Okay, so we've got Jay Wild telling me that it's halted to the upside. We've got Jay Rice, who's been short this for I think like 2 years, and that short has been paying. And we got Jays on both sides of the Mullen train here today. Maybe next time drink your coffee instead of taking it intravenously. Noted. I do like it. Let's face it, Tom. I know you're trying to slip one in there. I get it, and I give you props for it. But you guys like it more when I have energy. Let's face it.
Definitely got some more pep in your step.
Oh, yeah.
SGMT still not breaking down.
Yo, easy Mike.
Hey, Mike.
LX. Who mentioned this the other day? Is this one of those Chinese stocks that's been going with the stimulus? Yes. People's Republic of China. Yes. Derives most of its income from China. This was actually on, I think, yesterday we talked about this one, or at least we looked at it.
TTEC is still looking like it needs the volume. Otherwise, we're probably going to sink back beneath the VWAP. KOS, that thing is still moving. 428, the current high.
Okay.
LEU, this thing is still going.
Nikola at the highs. Oh boy.
What?
I'm down to almost no shares because of the 4 reverse splits. That's Jay Rice. Oh, Jay. Costco down near its earnings low. I'll tell you what, you guys know how I feel about Costco. Honestly, I'll take this lower. Give me a chance to add Costco at a discount. Yes.
Interesting. I didn't realize JB Hunt expanded their fleet with 20 Nikolas. That's interesting.
Now, is that a trade for you on JB Hunt or Nikola?
Oh, I don't think it's a trade for me on either one of them. It's just interesting, something to watch for, because hydrogen has been something I've been really paying attention to. We're starting to see a lot of push in that direction. And that's one of the reasons why I like midstreams, because they can have a dual purpose of not just transporting natural gas and oil, but also hydrogen. So I'm just kind of, keeping an eye on the hydrogen theme here, because I think that's going to be a future fuel that gets used a whole bunch.
Okay. Really quickly, Crimp Biscuit, doing it all for the biscuit, by the way. Mentioning Duo here. Duo did look like this kind of bounced off of, what is this, 250? Looks like maybe we do have that intraday bottom here. I've got what, the 100 EMA at 3. I've got the 200 EMA at 324 and the VWAP, the 200 EMA at, VWAP at 308 and the 200 EMA at 324. Easy for me to say.
CAPR, bad news. This thing could not get back above VWAP, and now it's pretty much back to start.
Jay Rice asking if anyone is trading BITO. We do have a number of people trading that. 13, yes. I can't remember if you traded this.
I sold a bunch when it was up over 20. Still hold a little bit for the dividend. That happened already.
Okay.
So that's
it's not active today, is it?
I
think that's what Jay's asking, right? I assume
I believe it's today.
Oh, okay. So it is active today.
Yeah, because this is all because of the futures contracts. So they do the monthlies. So once those are done, whatever they made off of that gets, it becomes part of the dividend, and they have to buy back those. They have to buy more contracts for the current month. So that's why it's down. I think this, I think that's just the way you're supposed to trade this, is just wait for it to, do their dividend, and then when they have to buy more contracts, get in. If you think, especially if you think Bitcoin's going up over the month. I'm glad to hear it, Travis. Get that mortgage paid.
Okay.
I'll get you
really good stuff.
On that.
13, just because obviously we were sensitive to everything that's going on to our folks in the South. Anne-Marie down there in Florida. Once again, if Anne-Marie can't join us today, are you okay hanging around?
I can hang out there.
There we go. So we're at least going to give you content through 11:30 here. If we can get Anne-Marie, I will. If not, 13 and I will have to do.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. BEKE, that's one of those Chinese names. That's trading up here. Serve, this is trading up here.
Looks like CAPR is trying to bounce off the 65 EMA. Volume's not great, so not sure how high it's going to go.
Serve looking good. So Parker's Thinkorswim Custom Indicators likes this one. Ramos, you looks like you like this one too. Maybe if we can get back to the highs from, what is this, Friday? 931. See if 850 can get by it. Nice little volume pop here. Last time we had this, we had a huge run. And actually, if you take a look at the volume pop, we went higher. even from that last big volume stick, we ended up going higher. Don't think serve is done here. Watch for an 850 cross there.
Everything we were looking at this morning is all weak. Here we
Hollow,
go with SGMT.
speaking of weak, Hollow in big time on red selling candles. You said SGMT?
Yep, we got right down to the 65 EMA. That's where I was looking for this to bounce and see if that's what is going to happen.
Okay, Smoke Tuna's calling it right here. SGMT for a bounce, folks.
And what else?
Lion, we're glad you got your power back, man. We missed you.
Nice.
We missed you.
Yeah, I had my I was affected by that Verizon outage yesterday, so I didn't have any service when I was out and about yesterday.
So that's crazy. Tell me about that, because I actually woke up this morning. I heard about that Verizon outage. I heard that Chicago was one of the markets that was mostly affected. I had service all day long.
Yeah,
I was sending text messages all day. I was working the phones yesterday.
I've been hearing from all different kinds of people. It's not one particular kind of customer. It's intermittent. It's different customers. So it doesn't matter if you have a physical SIM or an eSIM. You could have been affected. It doesn't matter if you have an iPhone or a Samsung or anything else. You could have been affected. It's just there's no pattern to those that were affected. And I was just one of them.
That's wild stuff. Well, it actually, did they have it all resolved now, 13? Because I looked good again here this morning.
It wasn't all eSIMs. It was because there were reports of people with eSIMs still able to use Verizon. And there were people that had physical SIMs that were still having outages. Gotcha.
Watch is telling me to stand up and get moving, as if I haven't been hosting 2 shows all morning here. Come on, Watch. Get smarter. SPY continuing to pull and at the lows.
Good.
And now there's a, hang on one second.
And what do we have here with the Mag 7? Looks like the only Mag 7 hanging out in the green is Meta now. Oh, why is this thing up here? Uh-oh. I think we lost him. SGMT didn't bounce, took a dive. Yes, let's see what we got here with SGMT. So it's still in that same area that we were looking for it to get support. So it hasn't dove. It's just kind of hanging out right there, trying to reverse. I mean, if you're talking about from the open, yes, it's been down since the open. INDO breaking out here. This thing is just really taking off.
Oh my
now.
God. That was a move from VWAP too.
There's a question. We got a question of where's gold? Let's see here.
RP Trade saying,
Gold
I don't like the action today. I'm going to call it. Good luck, man. Thanks for joining us.
That's really smart, because
I don't like the action today either.
If it's not looking good and it doesn't fit any with any of your trade plans, the best thing to do is sit on your hands. I like it. That's not a bad idea at all. Gold, by the way, approaching 2,700.
Husa starting to go with Indo. Jay, that's a really good memory, because these moved in tandem before. It looks like they're doing that again here. Sark is getting mentioned here, and then Kathy Wood memes coming out. Sark just completely vertical.
Well,
Glenn is trying to put the hex on everybody. Gold price of 2666.66. Take that. SGMT big volume.
Gold has been a beast, so there's the mark.
SGMT still holding lower here.
There's so much red today.
There is a lot of red. SPY's actually bouncing as we speak. I can throw that up here real quick. I'm in no trades right now, folks. None. And actually, my swing account, after having a good day yesterday, getting hit today. Nothing out of the ordinary, though.
And just waiting to see what happens with SGMT. The SQQQ has just been great today.
Probably should have been a little bit more active with some of these ETFs here today. Tell you what, let's take a look at SQQQ. We get a pullback down towards the VWAP here. Might actually take a look at this. One of the things that I've learned from some of my trading mentors, one of which is in the happy hour with 13 and I on a regular basis, especially on these ETFs, when they start to get really extended from the VWAP, that's your trade on a regression right back to the mean. So I'll kind of wait this out here on SQQQ. We'll see if we come back in and give us a long play there. Lassie looks like it's trying to find a base. Laser Photonics saw another one of their commercials for drone defense today.
TTEC lost VWAP, and after that, it could not recapture it. That is sinking lower, getting back to the open.
Okay, that was one from yesterday. Hollow continuing to come in. Tesla getting some mentions here in the chat. Tesla just big time pulled. Now, again, the deliveries, this is tomorrow. I'm going to check the news here. Yep.
Good question. How's AVAV?
Dennis talked about that this morning, said that that was a great one. It's in his long-term portfolio, by the way. Thought you'd like that.
Yeah, I wonder how he found out about that one. Man, happy hour has been on this one forever.
Yep.
And looks like the next breakout spot is coming. So here's what I'm seeing with AVAV. We have this breakout level here on that we're looking at from price action on the 28th of August. The high there is 211.44. That's the next breakout spot that's going to take us, I think, to 224, which is the all-time high. So that's what I'd be watching for with this one.
Yeah, so Jay brings up a really good point here. And we haven't really discussed this yet. This is something that we've discussed in happy hour, but it makes sense for us to bring this discussion here. Jay mentioning that regarding SQQQ, the problem is that the stock price is so low that you need to buy an absolute ton to get beta. It's a 740 stock and it's up 35 cents. Jay's absolutely right. Look for SQQQ when this reverse splits. This is going to be the one to play. Now, in the meantime, if you don't want to play SQQQ, you might be able to look at SOXS. That, of course, crashed my details tool here. Is not what I was looking for. But there are other options here. Jay, you're absolutely right. This is going to be a better trade once it reverses. RCAT, this is a drone play that you, Mike, that you're asking about here on RCAT. This is a Carmen special here. Let's see what we got on RCAT here. Let's see if we get a Bulls Bears say on this.
I can tell you when it comes to AVAV, they one of the things that they make that we've been on for a while since the Ukraine war started is they make these drones that are meant to be destroyed. They're essentially these, what we can call them like guided missiles, but they're more like drones. So they have the switchblades, which are basically these foldable drones. And when you launch them, the wings fold out. Yeah, and they go to their target and they explode. So that's
don't they also make the ISR drones, the intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance drones that do come back? Pretty sure that AVAV does those as well.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay,
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay,
I just remember that their switchblade drones were the big headline because they were, a lot of Ukraine was going to get a lot of those. This is
and you blow them up and order more, right? That's the other thing that how it affects the business, right? Those are kamikaze. It's literally DS is yelling it.
Here we go.
Kamikaze drones. Let's go.
Unmanned kick-ass technology.
That was an accidental click, but honestly, I'm glad it happened.
Awesome. SGNT. This thing is looking like it's done for today. If it doesn't get some support here down at 3, that's all she wrote. Again, a lot of pullback in a lot of these names. Looks like no, that's not it. What is EMKR? This is one of the ones we were talking about this morning, right?
Yes.
That just broke out of the pre-market highs. And I think pretty much between where it's at now and 275, there's some consolidation from pre-market yesterday.
1 second.
Okay. So I think that's where you're going to see having a hard time going up further, trying to chew its way through that consolidation. Thinking about it, saying RCAT, ASUA, Army event, October. Oh, okay. Oh, great information. I got to write that down. So put it on your calendar, folks. If you're going to trade RCAT, write down the dates that Think About It just gave us, October 14th to 16th. That is, they're anticipated to get a $500 million contract. No, we're not holding any bags in SGMT. No, it's going to go lower than we're getting out.
Okay. I got a lot of action going around my house this morning. I apologize to everyone here.
They already won that contract, the $500 million contract. We're just talking about RCAT and Shaka and Thinking About It, bringing up the information regarding a catalyst event where they're going to get a $500 million contract from the Army.
Here, Tom saying, does anyone know what's going on with Tesla? Over $9. First of all, it's down 3.5%. So that is a pretty decent move, but Tesla's no stranger to those moves before. The market is just absolutely yanking down 1.15% here. So it's clearly trading with it. Looking at some of the news here, Live One renews partnership with Tesla through May. That sounds good. Increase in ARPU. I mean, this sounds good.
It might have to do with the China EVs delivery numbers. Because if it's not the China EVs, everything else will probably end up going lower. Like, I don't think the China EVs count Tesla.
Let me ask you, does the port strike have anything to do with this, you think?
I would think so. Exports.
See, Brian is saying port strike affects Tesla. Okay.
I could see it affecting, GM and Ford more, since they're shipping most of those out on the East Coast because they manufacture them, on this side of the nation. But I thought Tesla was being built in California and Texas, so that's going to affect maybe part of it.
Interesting. Lion Atlas saying the October disaster is here, team. So I think one of the things you're speaking to here is the seasonality, which might just be a little bit late. I'll say this, given the strength of the buy the dippers in this market recently, let's see if this is just a one-day sell-off. You know what? Let's see if it even is a one-day sell-off. We might have the buy the dippers step in here later today. In fact, on pre-market prep, one of the things that I was calling for is a potential long here on Apple. I'll reiterate the case again. These channel checks that drive the stock lower, every time the stock has ended up going higher. So I'll kind of wait this out here. I would be looking at the October 235 call as a way to play that. I'll keep you. I have no position now. I'll keep you posted in case I do feel something.
Looks like SPY dropped down to 567, found some support at that handle. So didn't quite get down to that other previous all-time high, but we are coming back up here. Let's see what happens at the 568.69 previous all-time high, if that provides resistance. If it does, then we're likely to head even lower.
Really quickly here, this is a good question, well-timed question too. Aramis is asking, good morning, guys. Good morning, Aramis. Nice to see you here. What causes certain stocks to be so spready? This is going to be the share structure, right? So if the stock has an extremely low float or not a whole lot of shares outstanding, or conversely, a lot of those shares are locked up by long-term holders like institutions, the stock is often going to be spread between that bid and ask. So really, this just comes down to the share structure. You want to check shares outstanding. You want to check float. You want to check institutional and long-term ownership to kind of determine how much stock is actually out there available for the retail guy. The other thing is if there's a newsprint and all of a sudden there's expanded volume in there, those traders might not be as loose with selling them after they buy it, depending on the news article. A lot of things can affect that, but there you go, Aramis.
Yeah, and also illiquidity. So if there's not enough people buying and selling this thing, or in addition to what Ryan is saying, that can also create a lot of spread too. If there's not enough buyers and sellers, they're going to be pretty far apart in where they want to enter and exit. So you're going to get a lot of spread on that as well.
Yeah. Really good stuff here.
Oh, there we go.
Saying spread is wide when there are less buyers and sellers, and also if they're being traded by algos and bots. This is a really good point there. Chris doing his best Aaron Rodgers impression. Okay, why is Microsoft down? It's just a risk-off day, folks. REALAX. RELAX is actually how you spell it. A nice little Aaron Rodgers impression there.
I don't really look at Microsoft as a risky, though. I think you're seeing a lot of these other names kind of rocket because the risk is, they're moving the risk over there. I think they're just taking money out of the Mag 7 since that's where all the concentration is. That would be my take on it anyway.
Lion Atlas saying, I'm not sure about that. Rayanne. I'm not sure what you're referring to there. I think we keep going lower until the end of October, and then we resume to the upside, then finish the year on a high note. Okay, so you're basically looking, they talked about this on CNBC this morning. Kernan was asking one of the specialists if they see maybe a down move in October that evaporates by the end of the month. It looks like you're looking for the same thing. Also, good morning, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda. Christopher Anthony also look for an excuse on why NVIDIA is down 2%. It's just, okay, so here's the thing. Ryan, you might be able to help me answer this too, because you sent me the information about why NVIDIA is probably down. We have another IPO coming up, probably sometime this month.
Yes.
There's that. And what is it? Cerberus? I believe
Cerberus is how it's pronounced. Yeah. Let me actually, I'll be happy to share that story. Let me grab that here real quick, 13.
That's going to be a big competitor with NVIDIA, a competitor which also, by the way, uses Taiwan Semiconductor to build their chips. But we also have a lot of news headlines about China not buying so many NVIDIA chips and trying to steering towards their own domestic brands. So we have those couple of things as well. And there was one more point. Oh, yes. AVGO is another up-and-coming semiconductor manufacturer that's also getting a lot of attention because there's plans now to move for some Chinese names to move over with them to have their chips built, I think starting in 2026. So those headlines pulling NVIDIA down, in my opinion.
Real quick, I did throw that link to the article in there. I apologize for it. This is a behind a paywall. I do not advise that you pay the New York Slimes, but that is the article that I got it from. Looks like it's Cerebras, Cerebras. Now, they filed last night for the IPO. 13, you were telling me that it's a 3 to 6 week time frame before we start seeing that trade. Okay.
Typically, after they make that filing, make it known to the public, you'll see it'll start trading in about 3 to 6 weeks. So, but I think it'll probably end up trading sooner than that. I think October is probably going to be when we see it trade.
Oh, by the way, I'm just kind of cleaning up some of my windows from yesterday. I figured I'd share this one with the group too. We talked a little bit about Zim earlier, and again, I apologize for the track change here. But we talked a little bit about Zim earlier. We do have a gentleman in the happy hour that is outstanding with his long-term charts. Not that 13 isn't, but this guy pretty much specializes in it. And this is his weekly chart for Zim. So you can see here, we actually have a number of levels that we've recently taken out. 25.14 is the support currently at, actually, this was from yesterday. I wonder what the current price is here on Zim. 23. So we're actually beneath that level. Beg your pardon. Looks like next level down here, 22.51. And then a couple of upside levels, one at about 29, 33.5, and then 2 in the 40 handle. So here you go on Zim. I'll keep this open in case we need to come back to it.
Yeah, looks like Zim's trying to get that support from 23.80. It's right there right now.
Yep. Mike here saying sell cruise lines, buy Zim. That actually would be a very timely move given that CCL traded after its earnings, given how CCL traded after its earnings. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know more about. What is it with the? I have an idea. I have my own thoughts, but I just kind of want to hear what your thought is with the cruise lines. I mean, probably less demand, rates dropping, so the fixed income older generations aren't going to have that cash flow, so probably not going to want to go as many cruises. Probably they're not going to. They're probably going to go be more expensive going forward. I just what's the whole thought here with selling cruise lines? Not that I disagree or anything. I don't. I just want to know what your thought is on that.
SGMT down here at 3. What a disappointment that was here today. Hopefully nobody got smacked by that. That really didn't do much.
Yeah, this one looks like it's gonna go probably just under. Let's see what happens after it goes under 3. I think it could end up going a little bit further too, but we're getting down to some bottoming here. If you look to the left, this is pretty much down between 265 and 3 is basically where you've got this demand zone. So if it gets down to there, that could be where we stop seeing this weakness. We just have to wait and see if that's the case.
Trying to get this coin chart up here. Chris mentioning coin down 6% here today. Boy, this is gonna not reflect well on me. I was actually saying, hey, I think this might test and take out the 50-day and then maybe go to the 200-day. That was one of my calls on Trader TV at the end of the week last week. Yikes, looks like I blew that one here. This really kind of coming in. Now, I will say we never took out that 50, so our long trigger never actually happened here. Coinbase, though, it looks like this is coming in. Chris, I kind of think that this is a support level down here. Let's call it 162, maybe 5 points away. And then ultimately, I see some more support down here at 150 on coin.
Mike, rail freight in from Canada. So is the thought here we're going to have ships redirected to eastern ports in Canada? And then rail shipped down to the U.S. Actually, having a good day. I guess that that fear is. Well, so I'm kind of back and forth on oil right now, just because if we are going to have a shutdown at the Gulf port, that's probably less oil that's going to get and natural gas that's getting exported. So maybe there's a glut coming. Just, I'm back and forth on oil right now. It's I think we're in a tricky spot with oil.
Coin's still coming in here. Sorry, I was handling some stuff on the side there.
No worries. Walmart moving higher. That must be on trying to get supplies out to the hurricane-stricken areas. Maybe.
By the way, real quick, ADW Texas here. Blurb alert, markets down because of a report Iran could be preparing to attack Israel from 10 minutes ago. We actually had this in the newsfeed, excuse me, from about 20 minutes ago. Benzinga market summary, dock workers strike, oil spike on Middle East tensions, and reports of potential Iran attacks. So that is currently being baked into the price. I wonder where this price kind of settles down here. 13. I know since we didn't have a pre-show fist fight meeting today, we really didn't cover any levels here on the SPY. If you have any, that's fine. If you don't have them prepared, I know I kind of tossed you a grenade there.
That's okay. Let's see what I got for SPY, because I already mentioned one level where we'd be getting, or two levels where we'd be getting support and resistance. Let's see what we got from those. So check this out.
Blow my nose again, dude. Hang on.
No problem. So the after we got that rebound from the selling, we ended up trading right back up to that 568.69 level and turned around. And now here we are down at the next previous all-time high that I have at 566.58. We are right there right now, testing that as support. Breaking down through this, then we're back to testing the yet another previous all-time high, the one that we held for a while before we broke out recently. That was 565.16. So if we don't turn around here, which it looks like we're starting to, but if we don't turn around here, we go lower, that would be the next level, 565.16. Walmart is most exposed to port strike.
Tossing 13 a SPY chart is not a grenade. He could be in a coma and give you good levels. That's how much trust we have in 13 around here. Amanda, that's money.
That my heart monitor would just start looking like a chart at that point.
Actually, that would be something else. That would be oh my God. We could make a movie about that. Yeah, Mike here. Look, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna take another victory lap here. Apologize ahead of time. Mike's saying I always do the opposite of CNBC. Well, Mike, we had a really good example this morning. They were wrong on the Tesla deliveries, and our news team was right. And Dennis even shouted that out. So giddy up with you on that. Now, Walmart, really quickly, you guys were just talking about Walmart being affected by the strike. I don't know which way that you went. I'm looking at Walmart here. It sure seems to me like this is pretty extended. Are we looking for maybe a pullback trade here on Walmart?
Let's see here, because yeah, I agree. Walmart's been,
Just kind of overcooked here, I feel like.
It is starting to come back in. I mean, we were really extended over the 80 RSI, back in the middle of September. It looks like we're starting to roll over a little bit here. We need to lose the 20-day SMA. That's going to be our first sign that we start to go lower. In my opinion, we haven't lost the 20-day SMA since July, and even then, it only took about a couple weeks to recapture it. So let's see that happen first.
Okay. Big B saying Walmart has enough logistics to run counter to the strike if necessary. That's good stuff there, Big B's.
I would think that Walmart and Amazon are going to be affected to some degree.
I would imagine. The comment about people going to Walmart for food, though, that's true.
And I do know that that's a lot of those products come from over on the Pacific side. It's just that we're going to end up with a lot of port congestion as a result of this shutdown. The strike on the eastern Gulf ports. So you're going to see a lot of ships just kind of waiting their turn in line. It's going to cause congestion, and it's going to be more expensive the longer ships have to wait out there, and it's also going to lead to longer times to get the products off the boat.
Okay. 13, I'm trying to go from memory here. I'm pretty sure that it was someone, maybe it was in pre-market prep today, saying, is there any potential of robots or any type of automation to kind of replace some of the longshoremen in terms of loading and unloading boats? Is that a possibility? No, they control all of that, right?
That's already happening. It's already happening.
So they're already being replaced by, okay. And is that part of why, is that part of what's going on with the strike? I would imagine.
It's a huge part
issue.
Of what's going on. And there's two main things you got to understand about the strike. One, they want wage increases because the East Coast and Gulf longshoremen, they're not getting paid as much as the West Coast ones are. The West Coast longshoremen, they just, they're getting, it's a substantial difference, to be honest. But they want a 77% increase in pay over 5 years, I believe. And the U.S. Maritime Alliance is only coming in at 40%. So that's one of the reasons why the contract isn't working out. But also in the contract, longshoremen do not want an expansion of automated craning and other. I can't remember the name of the vehicles, but they want a minimization in the amount of automation expansion on their ports, because that is happening a lot over in the San Pedro and Los Angeles ports.
Okay.
The rollout isn't going as smoothly as they would have liked. It's causing some problems, but it is ultimately going to replace some jobs out there, and that's not what they want. So it's one of the holdups.
Okay. INDO does not look halted to me, Crow.
Yes, PMA is Pacific Maritime Association. That is the West. I was talking about the East. The East is U.S.
Those
Maritime
guys
Alliance.
can't tie their shoes.
Yes.
Yes, right. Stay focused. We are well, man. Good morning. Hopefully you are well also. This is an interesting handle. Only simp me whales. LOL. Going on strike just gives the CEOs open space to test their new technology. And so this is kind of where my question was coming from. Like, if this is something that the port workers or the longshoremen are extremely against, do they just try to do this and see if they can be replaced? I don't know.
They won't be able to completely replace longshoremen with what they've got right now.
Okay.
But it is gonna, you got to look at it in terms of, okay, there's a whole range of jobs that these longshoremen and these other A-books that they can basically get assigned to. And when you start introducing automation into the ports, that cuts down the number of potential jobs there can be. So that's why they don't want that, because that means that some of these, I guess we'll call them lower down on the list in terms of priority and privilege, they aren't going to get those jobs. It's always going to be the A books and the gosh, I can't think of the terminology, but it's always going to be the ones that are that have been there the longest that are going to get the jobs the most, and then a lot fewer other people are not. So it's just basically cutting down the job pool is what it comes down to with AI and automation.
Okay. Duo popping here. Good call. Good mention here.
Casuals. There you go. Thank you.
Casuals. Our chat never disappoints. That's a gorgeous dog, by the way.
I'm not sure that this is what the administration, I think the administration, I think, is just kind of letting this smooth over, or just kind of staying out of this because they don't want to piss off the unions.
Weren't you saying that that's kind of like a loaded political issue right ahead of the election as well?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I'll just stop there.
Dog's name, yeah. Smart of you, 13. Bentley. Really pretty name, really pretty coat on that dog. We welcome Bentley to the show. All right, Duo halted. Is it halted this time? There it is. There it is. Went right through that VWAP. We do have the 200 EMA here at 311. Maybe that's your upside target out of the halt here on Duo. Good stuff for whoever's in this one.
Nothing's looking really good right now.
I was just thinking that, 13. You literally, it was like you were in my head reading my thought to the group. I have no trades here today. I don't feel great about anything. I'm kind of just watching the action.
And, I got to, point out that we were getting information. I'm sorry, I can't remember who was saying that. I think it must have been one of our new viewers, but there is a typhoon headed for Taiwan. It's called Krathon. And if you're curious on what the difference between a hurricane and a typhoon is, it's just regional. Because in the Pacific, we have typhoons. Like over in the Asian Pacific, we have typhoons. And over here over in the Atlantic and the Gulf, we have hurricanes.
And I beg your pardon, did you say it was named Raytheon?
No, Krathon. Krathon. Release the Krathon.
Krathon. Okay. So Kraken, Krathon. Okay. I'm looking around here, folks. Don't really see a whole lot of anything.
No, but here's the thing. The market might be giving y'all a day off. So
yeah, Smoke Tuna here is saying market is down. There's not much to trade. I agree with him. The one thing that I will say is that generally speaking, when the market is down, it gives you a really good idea for relative strength. And so maybe we have seen some of that. INDO, I guess, really kind of comes to mind. That thing's been up all day here. But I'll be honest, Tyson is up today. I don't feel great really about anything. I know Tesla's trying to bounce, but Tesla's been getting shelled all day here. I'm not sure I feel great about this Tesla bounce either. SGMT getting mentioned that's turning around. That has been kind of a dog today. Let's see if this holds 3 and maybe gives us a trade to the upside.
Be careful if you're going to trade that. This thing it's been ugly all day.
Amanda here saying days like today are when I look at my options wish list to see if there are deals to be had. Typhoon could also breathe fire and control wind. Was this like a superhero? Oh, Greek mythology. Okay. The god of storms. Okay.
Well, looks like the market's kind of just pausing and figuring out what it wants to do next. Take a look at a 5-minute chart and see what I've got here on the SPY. So we came back up to test that previous all-time high of 568.69 again. Just tapped it. So between there and 566.58, that's currently forming a bit of a consolidation channel. Let's see which direction we get. Looks like it wants to go higher at the moment, just based on the way the MACD looks. And and everything else. But the volume needs to be better in order to break above that 568.69.
Jay, you're giving a Tyson comment here, but it looks to be related to golf, and I see a laughing emoji, so I'm unsure of the seriousness. Tyson may be up because he was on the Golf Channel yesterday, big supporter of Arkansas Golf, was hosting the Blessings tournament. Doesn't John Daly's kid play for the Arkansas golf team? Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Anyway, Tyson here, I know this is kind of bucking the trend. Not a whole lot of volume here. Tyson up 1%. This was a dip and rip on Tyson. No position for me.
As far as a Qualcomm entry goes, I think this is something you're going to have to, be patient with, just because this could be, the time where a lot of these semi names start to roll over. I'm seeing that with Qualcomm in particular, that there was a death cross last month. There's a trend line also that has been, getting put in from these higher lows that Qualcomm has been making. Specifically, if you draw a trend line from the low of August 5th through the low of September 6th and keep going, that's going to be your next support area. And if you don't get support from that, it's going to end up falling through. We're going to head lower into probably the 150s or maybe as low as 140.
So I think these trend lines, you were talking about August 5th through
there you go,
September 10th. Yeah. So this is what you're looking at, right?
Yeah, pretty much that. As soon as you lose that, that's going to indicate that you might end up getting lower, probably down to that purple line there, which I believe is a 500.
Yep, you're exactly right on that. We'll see if we get that. Okay, it looks like Duo is open here. Let's take a look at Duo. Yep, that opened, went higher. Oh my gosh, this actually ripped above that 200 EMA that we talked about as a potential target. So far, holding above it. Duo looking like it's trying to go higher here. Watch this volume. See if that stick eclipses the last one. We engulf it. Higher we go. 350 might be your target there on Duo.
We were having a moment of silence for the Duo halt. We should have a moment of silence for some of these that are getting absolutely killed. But maybe not today.
I was going to say, I mean, our stream might be a lot of silence if that's the case here. And John Daly's kid does play for the Arkansas golf team. I thought so. Okay. Also, just kind of looking up, let's see here, just kind of looking at the schedule here. Again, I have not heard from Anne Marie. So unsure what we're going to be able to do there. We do have an all access coming up here with Zunaid from 10:50 to 11. And normally we'd come back to Anne Marie. With Anne Marie not being here, I think 13 and I are just going to rejoin you again. We'll tie everything up. So 13, as long as that's okay with you, that's going to be the plan here. About 4 minutes till that all access starts, and then we'll come back for some more live trading when the all access has concluded.
Sounds good to me. Christopher's watching Bloom Energy. Let's see what that's doing here. Okay, that's a nice crawl. What are we looking for, Chris? We're getting maybe up into the 1030s and take profit there, or where's your exit with this one? Because I have it I have it right now trying to get back above VWAP. MACD's starting to cross. It looks like it wants to try to trade back up. I'm just kind of curious what your exit here is or what you're looking for to capture. Looks like T-Tech has a relationship with its VWAP in and out of it. MGRX is Sydney Osborne. What's the thought here? It looks like it got some support from some of the after hours trading in the highs. Start to curl here. We look at the very least, I guess VWAP. It's a penny stock, so I'm not sure I'd want to jump on that one. ITA continues on. Oh boy. 150 now, huh?
Tara's handling some work stuff there.
Hopium. Hoping it gets to 11 tomorrow. Okay.
Hey, we talk about Hopium. Remember good old Strat Soldier, the tank. Hope is not an investment strategy, and we do not trade on Hopium. Don't get high on your Hopium.
Yeah, just watch the others get high on it and then take them.
And then capitalize.
Yeah. Well, what else do we have going on here? Anything new that we're seeing? Looks like things are just kind of going sideways at the moment. Still looks like Bloom Energy is trying to get back up there. I mean, I don't know how much of that hopium you're going to have to smoke. It might not be a whole lot. Let's see some closes above VWAP on this 5-minute chart. That'd be a good start. Let's do that.
Is Indo setting up again? Maybe. It's curling back up here. That might happen during the All-Access, though.
I don't like the way those upper shadows look. The wicks and the MACD is starting to look. I don't want to say no, it's not, but let's see it hold 340. I want to see it hold 340, and if we can do that over the next 15 or 20 minutes, we might be able to consolidate and go higher. But for the time being, I'm not so sure we're going to get that. The upper shadows don't look great. Watching ASTS, trying to find a bottom.
I'm seeing if this does make an intraday bottom here. We'll see. I don't really see anything else great on the scanner here. There's Zunaid.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you? What's up, fellas?
I heard that haircut a mile away, dude.
Oh my goodness. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing? How's your day?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's I had no day trades today, right? We have a straight move down here. I didn't really have anything going today. Had a really good pre-market prep, really good live trading, but really good shows, but not a whole lot to speak of in terms of trades. What do you got coming up here, Z?
We've got All-Access coming up with Brandon Robinson, who is the CEO and co-founder of Horizon Aircraft. There's some great things that they're doing. They released some news around the eVault or eVTOL around that in September. So we'll talk about that here momentarily as well. So, we've seen all, the traditional planes obviously have flown on them, but what's next? What's the future hold? And so we'll kind of talk about that a little bit as well.
Okay, you are in the right spot because this group, both me and 13 and the chat members, have been following this eVTOL whole thing here. So really good timing. Zunaid, take it away. 13 and I will join you when you're finished.
You got it. 13, I'll see you in a bit. Ryan, see you later. All right, chat, we say this all the time, and it's because we truly mean it, and it's what we deliver on as well. Here at Benzinga, you get the technical analysis, you get the charts aspect of things, but we also love to talk to executives from publicly traded companies so we could talk about the fundamentals of what's happening within their company, the industry, and what the outlook could look like. So today, we've got a great conversation lined up for you with Brandon Robinson, who is a CEO and co-founder of Horizon Aircraft. Ticker on the NASDAQ is HOVR. All Access starts right now. Good morning, Brendan. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Zunaid. Great to be back. Thank you.
Absolutely. There's some things to talk about that you guys released some news in September. So we'll get to that here in just a second. But for the folks that might not be familiar with your company, what is it that New Horizon does?
So we make a new type of aircraft. So think of a helicopter type takeoff and landing, so vertical, but it flies like a normal airplane. So it's a traditional aircraft that can take off and land vertically, just like a normal aircraft, but travel about twice as fast and is cheaper to own and operate. So a lot of really cool missions open up when you, again, have a helicopter that is way cheaper and way faster and can move more stuff.
The accessibility aspect of it, to me, is one of the advantages, right? Because like you say, you don't necessarily need a runway like you would a traditional aircraft. You can kind of go vertical up and down. What are some other advantages that you have over, say, traditional aircrafts that we're so used to at the moment?
Yeah, so you nailed one of them. I mean, the accessibility piece is huge. So in the US alone, 80% of all traffic flows through about 20% of the airports. So we have a lot of the smaller airports now that are not even used whatsoever. And so now you have somebody that's got to hop in a car and travel 2 hours to an airport. It's got to, they have to wait at least 2.5 hours to get on the airplane to travel maybe 2 or 3 hours away to then reverse that process on the back end. If we start accessing all of those different airports and potentially opening up a different way to travel, that's pretty huge for moving people around the planet, as well as critical goods and COVID relief and other sort of critical items from point A to point B. So I think that's a pretty powerful new paradigm that's starting to open up.
Now, what about because whenever you're entering a new industry, or rather I should say, whenever you're disrupting an industry that the world may not be used to, in this case, the government may not be used. So you might have to deal with some regulatory hurdles that will be in the way. Are there any that you're concerned about that'll make it a little tougher to have this be a reality in the larger scale for you?
So the good thing is, I mean, this movement started a few years ago, and companies like Joby and Archer and Lilium kind of blazing the trail for everyone else, setting up all the rules that then we get to take advantage of. So we're a bit smaller of a company, but we're making pretty fast progress because of all the great work that those companies that have preceded us have done. So they've talked to the regulators. They have established the rules for regulating this brand new industry that's about to sort of hit a hockey stick in terms of explosive growth. And we get to, quite frankly, take advantage of that. So being maybe a second mover in this space, instead of spending billions on setting up the infrastructure from a regulatory perspective, we get to take advantage of that and have some really positive talks with the regulatory bodies. Up here in Canada also, by the way, Transport Canada is a very agile, smaller sort of regulatory body that can potentially move a little bit quicker than, you know, the FAA that's doing a fantastic job. But they're inundated with, you know, 500-600 different companies down south of the border that are really trying to push their designs through. So we have a unique opportunity up here in Canada to be a little bit more agile, move a little bit more quickly in a capital manner.
You mentioning the second mover kind of reminds me of when I used to watch NASCAR. The casters would always mention the draft, right? And I was like, what is that? What does that matter? And it's how you're behind a vehicle and you get to enjoy gravity, air, all that stuff, not slowing you down. So that way you get that push to kind of go ahead and take a lead in the ad. So that's what that reminds me of with you saying, hey, they've kind of set the groundwork. Now you're behind it, enjoying the perks and able to make a move as needed.
Yeah, and absolutely. So back up like 4 years, and there was a question, could these new types of aircraft that are much more efficient and much more economical even be certified? Right now, you fast forward to 2024, and the question is no longer if they will be certified, it's just when. You know, in 2025, 2026, we'll see some of them achieve entry into service, which is pretty exciting. So it's no longer a question of if, it's a question of when, which I think is a pretty cool achievement for the industry in general.
All right, so we answered if, we're hoping to answer when. Let's answer the how. And I'm specifically looking at, you know, I believe you closed a $3 million public offering. Can you walk me through the details? I'm more interested in how are you going to use this cash to optimize what you're currently doing and, you know, return value back to the shareholders?
Yeah, so we pride ourselves on being very capital efficient. So we wanted to raise enough money to put at least 12 to 16 months of runway in the bank, so to speak, while at the same time respecting shareholders and not overly diluting them. So that was a perfect race for us to achieve the next major milestone, which will bring us through half scale. So our large scale aircraft is going through flight testing right now. So that'll bring us through the next stage of flight testing. And also we're starting to build the full scale aircraft right now. So in a very capital efficient manner, we're actually starting to build full scale aircraft parts. So propulsion units, like an Iron Bird, where all of the systems are kind of integrated and work together. Patents on the way, and so we're that was the right modicum of capital to raise, respectful of shareholders, and also giving us enough runway to achieve our next major technical milestones. Yeah,
you've got to kind of thread that needle for sure. And it looks like that's exactly what you guys are trying to do. Because, I had a question in the chat, so I had to kind of bring that up. You mentioned briefly about the development aspect of it. So how are these test flights and technical developments coming along? What do you think is remaining before you can go to market?
So it's pretty exciting. So we have a half-scale aircraft now that's a 22-foot wingspan, 500 plus pounds, that's going through a very complex flight test program, and it's doing really, really well. So in the next few months, we should achieve what's called transition flight. So basically, it's the point at which the aircraft goes from hover and then accelerates to its full en route speed and transforms into kind of a normal aircraft configuration. So that transition flight is something that not very many companies in this space, maybe a handful, have actually achieved on a large scale prototype. And that should happen in the next couple of months. So that will be a huge milestone for us. We'll hopefully report on that in the next couple of months. And that really sets the stage. At that point, we've learned enough from the large scale prototype that we've significantly de-risked the full scale aircraft that we're starting to build as well. And so, so moving beyond that half scale prototype testing is building out that full scale aircraft and having a legit 6,000-pound beast of a machine ready to flight test in the next 24 to 30 months.
So, I want to kind of recap before I ask this next question. You're already kind of disrupting the space in terms of how aircrafts are built, how they're designed, how they're taking off, and how they'll be flown. But also the automotive space that's kind of being disruptive in terms of driverless vehicles. So let's take that and combine the two. What are your thoughts? Any plans on fully pilotless aircrafts in the future for your company?
So we're pretty excited about the future. I mean, not only for the fact that, we're building a much faster, much cheaper sort of form of a helicopter that can serve hundreds of millions of people around the world. The future of autonomy is pretty cool. We think inside the company that it'll be a while before, this automated machine will land and people will be comfortable, loading up without any kind of pilot on board. So the good thing is our aircraft, with the level of autonomy that's on board, will be capable of making that transition. For the short to medium term, we think there's going to be a pilot on board, helping people, feel comfortable with the whole flight experience and making those tough decisions airborne. I was from a pretty operational background. I flew F-18s in the Air Force for about 20 years. And there's a lot of things that can happen airborne where you'd want that pilot in the decision-making process, making those tough calls and keeping everyone safe.
Yeah. Any final thoughts from you? I know we've covered quite a few topics in terms of how you're going to use the cash, in terms of you guys starting development of your full scale. Any other topics that I missed that you want to talk about? The floor is all yours.
No, we're just pretty excited. I mean, we're a smaller player in the space, but for us, that means explosive growth potential. So we're building the team, we're building the aircraft. This is an exploding market with unlimited potential as we see it. And our unique approach where, our aircraft can go a little faster and travel a little further and carry a little more than the competition based on some unique technology. I think it's a recipe for success and for some significant growth potential moving forward.
And before you go, where does the testing and all that take place of these aircrafts?
In the vicinity of the Toronto area. So just north of the border, Toronto, Canada. And what a great spot to locate. Tons of talent, tons of universities. I think one of the last engineering positions we opened up had 250 applications or something like that. So it's just a great spot to live right now.
All right. Well, hey, whenever you're ready for some public individuals to come out and do the testing, you let me know. I'll be happy to hop on a flight to Toronto. We'll make some content out of that.
You have one of the first seats reserved, my friend.
I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Brandon. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Zunaid.
You got it. That is Brandon Robinson, who is a CEO and co-founder of Horizon Aircraft. Ticker again on the NASDAQ is HOVR.
You have one of the first seats available, dude.
Dude, I think it would be so cool
awesome.
and exciting. You know what that reminds me of, that experience, if I do actually get to have it? I remember watching, was it Jeff Bezos? Yeah, whenever he went on, was it Blue Origin? Is that what his company was called? It's kind of like just that cool experience of like, this is neat. Because then I've never been in a helicopter. I've flown a plane when I wanted to be a pilot and all that. But it'd be cool to kind of experience a helicopter-like lift, but then a plane-like ride,
Okay.
So,
and
I'd get to feel like a badass. Let's be honest.
I was going to say, I am absolutely blown away that you somehow just compared yourself to Jeff Bezos, but well done as always, Zunaid. You are just spectacular with that. So
look, I'm so rich.
Really good interview, by the way.
I'm so rich. I pay more taxes than Jeff Bezos. Take that how you will. I don't know. But
this is how we're going to take that. All right. That leaves Zunaid not here anymore. I'm just kidding, Zunaid.
Hey, you have a great show. I see Anne-Marie in the back. You guys have a great time. It's the 1st of October, folks. We've got 90 days to achieve all of our goals, whether it's in the trading space, personal life, whatever it is. Go make it happen. I'll see you guys next time.
Zunaid is just channeling that Bezos energy like something we haven't seen before. Okay, really, really good stuff there. Thanks, Zunaid. That was a great interview. I am going to bring on 13 and Anne-Marie here because I just want to set the record straight. Anne-Marie, first of all, I hope that you and your family are doing okay with the hurricane and all of the other stuff. Yeah. Okay, so awesome. Our chat has been incredibly supportive and understanding and been sending you their well wishes. So it's great to hear that everything's okay.
Everybody.
Also, we do owe a thank you to 13, who has volunteered to fill in here when necessary. So I hadn't heard from you this morning. I've been teasing them all morning. So 13, I really wanted to thank you in front of the group here.
No problem.
Appreciate all that you do for our community.
Hey, not a problem. It's great to
Indeed.
have you back here with us, Anne-Marie. We were
Thank
really
you.
worried about you, but it's good to see that you're still okay now, all safe.
Thank you so much.
Not
I
a problem.
appreciate you.
You two crazy kids have a good time. I'll see y'all later.
Routine, I'll see you later tonight, and we will also see you tomorrow. Take care. Okay, awesome stuff there. Anne-Marie, great to have you back. I tell you what, we have a whole bunch of potential plays here today.
Love it.
I'm gonna tell you what the chat has been suggesting since we've had you on last time. But ultimately, I think because of our timetable here, I'm gonna have you select what you think might make the best possible trades. So let me go ahead and get your screen up here. Perfect. Now, the trades that we had talked about the last time were going to be DACU, SMCI, Celsius, and Bristol Myers. So those four there. Now, as of today, because we've got Tesla deliveries tomorrow, the chat is really eager to see if there's a Tesla trade here. So we got 5 ideas here. Why don't you tell us what might make the best options trades?
Okay, so we always look for big volume, and there are a lot of things going on. These are some great suggestions. I really like them. The Benzinga Pro members actually already have a position on the Tesla delivery and the robotaxi event. And so we've got a double butterfly. Happy to snap it in. Super cheap as it sits right now in terms of where it's moving. And it is sitting right up in a sweet spot that could really punch us up or punch us over. So what I want to do is adjust this, and we'll make it 260 to 270. And then I think we're okay here. Now you'll notice that what I've been doing over the last few bits, if you've been really beagle-eyed, you'll notice that the put side, or the side that I really expect to explode, I'm spending more money on that side and then less money on the other side. So it's sort of like buying the instrument in the direction I think it's going to move, and then just picking up a little bit of insurance. That's what we did with Micron. So we had 11 cents on the put side, and we had like 50 cents on the call side. And shucks, you know, before that closed out, it was at 375 or something like that. So this is a nice adjustment that pushes us. You might go, but Anne-Marie, it's down $10 from the spike area. Is there, what are you thinking here? So let's look at this one very quickly, because we've already got it in the wheelhouse. Always, you know, we pick trades that have strong volatility and a lot of price positioning that gives us exposure. And so that really is the key thing that we're looking at in general. So let's pop open this. Here's the number one thing I want to tell folks. If you're reading your streams, you're going to see people going, oh my gosh, this is the most bullish I've ever seen it. We're going to see bull bear things that go, oh, we're hitting extreme greed. We're going to see things, we're going to have the doomsdayers sitting on one side, and we're going to have the pie in the sky folks sitting on the other side. Our goal as intraday and short-term swing traders is to watch price. Let price tell us what it's doing, and then we'll move along as it was. So let's take a peek. Here, what we're looking at, we had the big punch into resistance. And then we've got some news coming up over the long side. Now, this is, we also have the November. So let me activate that for you folks that are spending time with us today. You get to see what's going on the inside of the formations. We also have the long Novembers, but we're using 300 to 310. And for the short side, we're looking at 200 to 190. October is normally a very volatile month. So if we are generally bullish, we want to look for savage pullbacks that begin to hold. And one of those, of course, we'll look at shortly. But this is what I'm thinking about for what might be going on with Tesla, whether it's good or bad. We've got the October one sitting that we can widen to 460. Let me edit this. So I will actually add another one. So it reminds me that we talked about this. We had 250, 260, 270, call butterfly, and that is at about 96 cents, something like that. All right. So we have a resistance edge that we could punch up into. We have a support edge that we could hit the floor at. But the goal is set alerts so that when these things come in and hit your price, you know to look for the fire escape. Okay, it's just very important right now. So that is the Tesla trade. Let's take a look at SMCI. So SMCI is taking a bit of a dark nap. Let's be honest. It's
a dark nap. I'm sorry, I haven't heard that one. You caught me off guard with that one, but indeed, you're correct about that.
So one of my daughters is so funny because she's this very small woman, and she's so very funny. She will look at somebody and she'll say, "Now settle down with that mouth of yours, or I'm going to give you a dirt nap." And so I've just always said that over time. So anyways, it's having a little bit of a dirt nap. The question is, this 10-to-1 split, what are we thinking about? And here's the thing, what's happened to all the big 10-to-1 splits? They've just been awful. They literally been awful. We've either been sideways or we've just given up gains. And so my thought is, let's do a combination, and it's coming into earnings on the 28th.
Well,
go ahead.
So that's actually one of the things that I wanted to ask you about. So there's a really good point with the splits that you just brought up, but none of those other candidates had investigations and delayed 10Ks. So in fact, I'm not even sure we've got that 10K that they delayed. And now we're talking about that. Are we going to get 2 earnings sprints on this next earnings sprint? How does that factor into your trade here?
So it makes me very cautious. And I would say if you were looking at something that you want to pay attention to, it might be something like VRT as opposed to SMCI at this juncture in that space. We can talk about that a little bit. Their option chains aren't very, yeah, exactly, Jay. Exactly.
Yep.
All of these big splits, they are just in a mess. So my thought is, if we give this a little time, like pushing it out into November, we might have ourselves a really nice downside trade. Now, the question is this downside motion baked in, or are the traders going to be able to see further fades as somebody else jockeys to, the space for the motion? So 2 things could happen. One, here we are sitting, I think this is a hull, yes. So the hull is a very interesting moving average. Here's how the hull works. Once you get above the hull and it's moving downward, it's telling you essentially that an interim floor is being put in. Yes. And so what it's telling you is, if it can't get through the ceiling, it's another short. And if it breaks the floor, it's going to continue. But when it's above the floor on this weekly formation, it's telling us, listen, there's a cheap buy here under this negative pressure, but it's got to be quick or it's going to be dead.
Okay.
And so my thought is the bounce gives us the best sell zone event. And if we're looking at earnings, we have to think, all right, let's position something long that's super cheap, just in case it surprises, but let our focal point of the double butterfly be low. Now, here's the thing. I don't normally trade butterflies in the $20 to $30 price points. And so what we have to see is we have all the new contracts coming in. You can see that somebody's trying to defend 42 as a floor. There's 3,000 of them this morning, 3,500 of them. Nothing on the puts, nothing on the call side like that. So everybody is thinking, I best be over here on the puts. So madness of the crowds, let's say that's a thing. All right. And our goal is to head to 30, come in to maybe 24, 23. And then, you know, if it's worthwhile, we'll see it all the way down there. And if it bounces, since it had such a dramatic collapse, I'm looking at 50 to be that edge. Now, the ATR has been recalibrated. It's $10 wide. And so that's $10 to the upside. But we're going to pick almost $20 to the downside for a 2-to-1 in the short action. And so let's frame it out, see how much it is. So we've got our 30 to 20, 24. That's a back ratio. We'll have risk associated with that. So we want to go 6 more. Oh, they are only giving us 20. All right. So not very cheap. Maybe if we divide it, it gives us a little bit more room, 30 to 25 to 20. So it's 35 cents. And on the upside, wow, they are really pricing these very expensively. So let's see what we can get away with. 50, 55, and 60. Okay. So for 70 cents, we've got a $5 spread, so it makes it $4.30 for this SMCI move. Gives us into October. The sweet spot is on the put side, of course, right? We expect it to run down about $15 to the floor right there, or it does the ATR and it moves up 50. So we can sort of look at it over. This is a good position. I got to take a snapshot of this one.
And by the way, really quickly, you're giving me a great segue here. For those of you that want Anne-Marie's trades, when she's snapshotting them, she throws them in Benzinga Pro. So Raj here was asking, what do you think of Palantir? Raj, we don't have time to cover Palantir again, but if you recall, Anne-Marie is long Palantir via a December butterfly up to 45.
Yes.
So be sure to check out Benzinga Pro. You can get all those trades and Anne-Marie's thoughts in there. Anne-Marie, I'm sorry for the distraction.
Oh, no distraction. I love it. I'm excited that we get to have time together tonight too. So that's great. So as we take a look at SMCI, this is what I'm looking at. You can see it building already. It's already 5 cents more expensive than it was a little bit ago. And so, you know, that's what we're staring down there. I like this trade a lot. What was the next one on the list? DocuSign. Sorry.
So we've done, so just to make sure that I'm keeping track here, we've done Tesla and SMCI. So the next that I had is DocuU, DOCU.
Right. So I use DocuSign literally every week, something or the other.
Sorry, Amanda loves jokes. Amanda loves jokes, and I'm all about telling the jokes here right now. I thought I could slip that one in there, but look, we're doing whatever we can here. We're doing whatever we can here.
Hilarious. Okay, so let's have a peek at this one. I'm going to get rid of this study. I don't like it. It's not helpful. Okay, so look at the base on this thing. This is a weekly chart. So what do we think is going to happen here? I personally really like what's going on in this chart. Now, could be messy. So if we take a look at a weekly chart, and this thing literally has been basing since June of 2022. And so it's tried to come out, couldn't do it, but it made a higher low. It made a lower high, so we know it was compressing. This is a great way to look at how prices are moving relative to what traders are thinking. It was compressing, broke out, retested the trend line. All of the moving averages are up. Big moving average, up above the VWAP on the weekly formation, tighter moving average. Everything says pullbacks or buy zones here. So the question is twofold. How do we participate in pullbacks or buy zones? And if we're thinking about upshots, where are they going to be? So if we look at a measured move, and of course I'm going to eyeball this because I'm not going to carry all the wicks. If we look at a measured move, we can see that upside pressure has got quite a bit of recovery action attached to it, all the way to 90. Now, how long will that take? Who knows? Might be never, right? Well, what we want to look at is, can I position so that my fade will be good to me and the bounce up will make me money? And so my thought is a two combo kind of trade. First thing we'll do is a short put spread that is naturally bullish. We'll use about 45 to 40 as the spread there. And then we'll consider a butterfly that accelerates into the move to the north. Okay, now here's the thing. October is kind of a crap month in terms of nice steady flow. And so what we have to think about is trading around the position in terms of getting by a little bit. If it pulls back, you're going to sell more of the put spread. You're going to buy more of the call spread. So you want to step in easily because October can be such a crap month, because you don't want it to come down into 40 and you be completely leveraged and go, crap, I got to puke out of this thing, right? So let's talk about how that might look. I'm going to use this edge at 75 and this edge at 45. All right, so here we go. 40, whoa. Well, that stinks. We got no volume. All right, let's see. Yeah, this is just the worst. I went through all of that. I should have checked the chains first.
Don't you hate that? I've been there. I hate that stuff.
If I cursed publicly, I do curse.
You did not.
Once in a while. If I cursed, this would be one of those places that I would send a friendly expletive out. It would be crud
one. Okay, I'm glad we cleared that one.
Crud sickles. All right. Okay, so let's set an alert. Maybe volume will build up, but that is in a breakout formation. For those of you that like net long positions, look for the dips, set an alert. I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to put an alert right on this line. All right, what is next?
What is next on the ticker list here? Boy, sorry about that.
We had
Celsius, CELH.
Yes, thank you, CELH. Now, I like Celsius. I can't drink too much of it. Oh my goodness. I haven't looked at this thing since it was up here.
Yeah.
What?
We call this blasting in the business.
Oh, or another dirt nap for sure.
I know that's the new term.
Whoa, this looks really bad. All right, so let me explain to you about this Hull moving average. Holds kind of close. When it gets above the average, it's telling you a near-term floor is in, but if it can't get over resistance or it doesn't bounce higher, you know the breakdown sends you into a new short. So we have the same condition here. We're above the Hull, coming into support. I don't know how much institutional ownership is sitting in this chart. That's
I can get
one.
that for you. Institutional ownership in Celsius. Let me pull that data point for you real quick.
Thank you so much. Gotta love the Benzinga Pro platform.
71.07%.
Well, that's a fair clip. So let's go to the monthly chart and see what these traders are doing. All right, so we're very close to a support floor where traders have said, hey, nobody's going to sell under here for now. So that's 26. All right, let me look at the chains. Let's not make that mistake again. Okay, we are okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're okay. Nothing. Whoa, check it out. 23,000 at 2250. Okay, so probably defending the ledge. So here's the thing that happens. It comes in, people see old resistance, new support. They go, all right, here it is. I'm buying Celsius. I love the stuff. I think it's going to be fantastic. And what does it do? Falls off cliff. So now all of the buyers here are going to be bag holders until the next floor, where they're going to either add to their position or they're going to cut and run. And so we have to be prepared for selling as it rises, even though we've got a floor here. And so when is earnings?
Earnings on boy, I should be ready with all of this here.
I have it. It's almost a rhetorical thing because it's sitting right here on the chart. But
I have it estimated for November 5th, so they haven't confirmed it yet.
Yes. Okay. So what could happen here? Well, it could fade, get ugly, and move a little further. Somebody's got 22,000 options sitting at 2250. And so that's kind of important for us to think about. Maybe we choose that same number they have because maybe they know something we don't or whatever. And then where we expect to see the majority of sellers show up is at the 40 marker, right? Why? Because they were all thinking to themselves, oh my gosh, this is the floor. Let's do it. Let's buy. And then,
and they can go lower from there, it turns out.
Punch to the face. So we've got 40 to look at, 40 to 37, and then we've got this 2350. Let's see what else the chains are showing us. Somebody says 35. So if we did the 35 to 40, and this happens to be the kind of butterfly that could play out on both sides, which I find to be very interesting. And so now, whoa, the spread is hideous right there. All right, if we say 2750, yeah, that's ugly. The better bet might be the flat out 2250 puts. And so what that gives us is I don't normally do this, but here's another thing we can do. we can go here, and I'm going to change this to custom. And we can do a 1 by 3 by 2. Okay, so what this actually gives us is a credit. Why are you doing this, Anne Marie? And then what is the storyboard? So let me do it in onesies so we can see what the total risk factor is here. Because as you know, adding and subtracting is not in my skill set.
Yeah, see, it's not in mine either. I have this thing called a calculator that does a lot of the legwork for me. So I'm with you on that.
So here's a trade that says, hey, if this thing goes to 35 and collapses at 40, you can get out of the trade. It's actually going to be free to a credit, but it's going to open up risk. Here, if you don't do anything but this, you're going to have $400, $417 of margin that has to come out for this position. So now it's 6 cents. Now, why am I so certain that we're going to have this collapse up here at the 40? Well, we just talked about it on the weekly formations. It's going to be a very rare event that it will blast through 40 and not fall back. And so the 1 by 3 by 2 butterfly, although it opens up a little bit of risk, it is a very pretty trade. Now, on top of that, that's for upside pressure if it moves up. If it moves down, this put is going to get traction. But see, since you only paid 2-3 pennies or a credit for the call, it's not going to affect your call position at all.
Okay.
So this is the sweet spot of, if it goes up, I'm going to make good money. If it goes down, I'm going to make good money. Everything else is going to work itself out in the wash.
Okay.
All right.
Really good stuff. Well, it's cool to have a little bit more of a kind of a complex butterfly there. One that's not one that we've done here.
No, we don't do that.
So awesome.
Yeah, we haven't been doing those. And here's a tip. Don't do those when you're sitting in charts that have upward moving averages. It's a great way to run straight into a sliding glass door.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever done that. I have.
I have absolutely walked into my fair share of sliding glass doors and screens. So I've been there. I've been there. Okay. Anne Marie, we are 1 minute over. This was awesome. Thanks so much. Yes, we will be doing another webinar here tonight. Really appreciate you kind of rapid fire through all of those. We're going to be doing this again on Friday, if everything's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. Have a great rest of your day, Anne Marie. And folks, we will be back tomorrow, live trading right at 9 o'clock. Have a good one.